Hey, good morning, friends. Hello, hello. How are you this morning? It is a little gray and a little dark, and uh, curious of how you are finding this day. Hope it's going well. Good morning, Vicky. Hey, all right. That's great. I'm glad you're out and about. Sounds like Macy as well too. That's great. Hey, good morning. Morning, Jamie. Jamie in the house. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, John. Hey, Irene. How are you? Linda, good morning. Great to see you. So glad you're here. Snow in Woolwich. Oh, and so it begins. Uh, it's wild out. I know it is. It is wild out. It's kind of woolly weather this morning. So yes, it is interesting. So good to see everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? So good to see everybody. How are you? I see a few more people hopping in. Snow in Warren, too. Holy smokes. It's happening, everybody. I remember growing up, you'd always hope for snow on Thanksgiving because that always meant the hunting was better. Like you'd be able to get out and kill a deer easier if there was a little snow on the ground. That it'd be cold and they'd be up and moving and be able to track them and all that kind of good stuff. So that was the hope in our household growing up. So good morning, good morning. Good to see everybody popping in. We'll get going here in one sec. See a couple more people making their way. Hope it is a good day for everybody. The snow is here. Oh, so we are. Fanny Faye, good morning. You're wearing a snow globe. Sarah beat the boys this year. I saw that. That's a monster. No, not Bambi. Yeah, well, Bambi's delicious. As they say, if God didn't want us to eat animals, they wouldn't have made them out of meat. But anyway, that's so. Good morning, everybody. We're. I hope you are well, and I hope you are looking forward to this holiday that is coming. Um, yes, I got my haircut. Thank you. We are on our way to this Thanksgiving, and I think this is a powerful one. So welcome. It is uh, the 25th day of November at 11:11, and I welcome you. I am so glad that each one of you are on the journey with us, that you're a part of this, that you're here, that whether you're here with us live right now or you're going to catch us through this time and you're journeying with us, that you know that you're prayed for and that you are loved, and that this community based here in Fall River has its arms around you, whether you know it or not. That you are loved and prayed for as a fellow pilgrim on the journey. And so I want to. Yesterday we talked a little bit about the Pilgrim Psalms, and I just couldn't let them go. So I had more to say, and I think it is so important for us right now to understand ourselves in this middle place of the that that's one of the things I think when you look at Scripture, and nothing's by accident, and there's this. The center of Bible is the 119th Psalm. That is the actual that's the center of the Bible, depending on which Bible you use and blah blah blah. But pretty much everyone accepts that it's the 119th Psalm. And then right immediately after this, you get the pilgrim psalms, which are these psalms, as we talked about yesterday, about that that you would they're often called in Bible, they're called songs of ascent, because they were what you would sing as you were going up to temple. It was always, no matter, and this is the thing, like, no matter what direction you were coming from, north, east, south, west, south, that it was always up to temple. You were always going up to Jerusalem. That's not an accident. Just as we are always climbing Jacob's ladder, just as we are always climbing the holy mountain every day. That wasn't an accident that they just happened to call them songs of ascent, but it is this deep understanding that we are on this pilgrim's journey to the holy city, and that we're journeying together with each other, and that this journeying comes right at what could be really described as one of the darkest points in the biblical narrative in some ways. That it's right in the smack dab in the middle of this prophetic period of all these crazy things that are happening to Israel, of losing their homeland, of all this sort of stuff. Now, some of them are obviously written beforehand, and some of them are, they all come from different sources, but where they're placed in the Bible, in among the 66 books in the Bible, that they're placed right in the middle, and that these are in the middle of the middle, like they're right after and so these songs are meant to be about about encouraging us on this journey that we're on right now. And so yesterday we talked about how they started, so today I want to talk about how these songs end. Like, what's the last song that you would sing as you arrive at the temple? So I want to talk about that one today. That we understand that we're in this world of and so much of this is about negotiating our journey of kind of wants and needs and all of these things. So I want to read for you this psalm that you would sing as you approached the temple, as you came into the holy space, as you arrived at that great homecoming. That point in life where, Ram Dass says that, that moment after a long day of work when you come in and you sit on the couch and you go, ah. He says, why isn't every moment of life like that? Now, I don't think that's possible, and I think it's kind of a ridiculous idea that we should, because there's a need, there is a time for everything. There's a time that we need to have our knees shake, or a time we need to work hard. There are times, but that sense of relaxing into not just the lazy boy, but relaxing into creation, relaxing into God, relaxing into our being. When we're in such a state of anxiety, I don't know about you, but every direction. I mean, it seems like, because of the length that we're enduring, and the uncertainty, the new levels of uncertainty that seem to get piled on every day, because of and by the way, if you haven't figured this out yet, and this is a little bit of an aside about our pilgrim journey, and very much like the pilgrim journey of the Israelites, and very much like the pilgrim journey of the disciples, and very much like the pilgrim journey of the early Christians, and very much like the pilgrim journey of our spiritual ancestors 400 years ago that came to the shore, all of them are dealing in this wildly uncertain time where their leaders were not leading. Where their leaders were more important to inject anxiety into the system, and doing that because they wanted to get their own way, and they wanted to control things, and they wanted to do all this sort of stuff, that the leaders were injecting anxiety into the system rather than actually leading, which means bringing people up and out of the journey of despair. And so the one constant we can say for nearly 3,000 years, we can point at this, 2,800 years or whatever it is, we can point at this, that this pilgrim journey always takes place in the midst of this anxiety that we're swimming in. And we look to the leaders of the world, and we understand the leaders of the world aren't are part of the problem. And I don't care which leaders you pick. Like, that's not the point. But as we stand and we journey on this pilgrim's journey in the midst of this anxious and crazy world that's swirling around us, we find ourselves arriving at the temple singing this song. And this is the promise. This is the promise. So hear this well. It's called a pilgrim song. That's what it's called. It's the 134th psalm. It is the last of the pilgrim psalms. So if you sang your way through the whole songbook, you would get to the 134th of the journey up from the temple. And friends, that's really our journey every day, is to go from this worldly, anxiety-ridden place to look a little higher, to look a little further on the mountain and know that the holy city is there for us and is not just out there, but is present in journeying with us and in our reality right now. So here's the pilgrim song. Come, bless God, all you servants of God, you priests of God, post to the night watch in God's shrine. Lift your praising hands to the holy place and bless God. In turn, may God of Zion bless you, God who made heaven and earth. Now, let's unpack that for just a second. It's short, isn't it? It's short. Were you expecting like this big, long, rambling psalm? Yeah. Actually, the big, long, rambling song, the longest psalm is actually the middle psalm. That when we talked about 119 a little bit ago, that's actually the longest psalm in the Bible. It goes on and on and on, and it's got good stuff in it, but it is long. And so but yet here we are at the Pilgrim Psalm, and it is the shortest of all the psalms. And it is this promise that priests of God posted to the night watch in God's shrine, that we might in the night watch. Now these are little code words. Now, in a world before electricity, in a world before all sorts of things, the night watch was the place of despair. It was the place of worry. I'm actually going to talk about this on Sunday a whole lot. But this point of the night watch is that we're in this place. It is talking about this place of the world of anxiety, the world of darkness that surrounds the temple, the world where we are constantly assaulted by shadows and by worries that skulk around our being. You priests of God posted to the night watch in God's shrine, we who are on the pilgrim journey in the midst of darkness, lift your praising hands to the holy place and bless God, and in turn, the God of Zion will bless you. What it's saying is that in the midst of our darkness, what we will find as a result of the journey of the pilgrim's path is that every moment when we find ourselves with the shadows coming round, all we must but do is turn our hearts and upwards, turn our hearts to God, turn our praising hands, lift our praising hands to the holy place, to the temple, to the holy city, to the thing that is beyond things, to the life that is beyond a simple life. And in turn, we will know blessing. You see, that's God's promise. God's promise is that we will be, that every time we say, God help me, God does. And every time we say, God love me, God does. Every time we express our need, God answers it. That's the journey. And we don't start there. That's not the first experience, the moment we do that. No, that is the fruit of a life long lived in this journey. That is the work of the pilgrim's path, is that we might find ourselves amidst the carrying of our burden and the worries of our days. Be able to look out and know that they are not really worries, but that they are all suspended in God's good creation. It is, in many ways, it's been described this way, that the difference is that of being on a ship in the midst of a storm, and that we feel the spray, and we feel the all that is happening to the ship, and we're buffeted to the left and to the right, and we barely hanging on to our existence. Or that we can see our lives and see our pilgrim's progress as if we were standing on a rock on the shore. We may still feel some spray from the rocks come upon our face, and we can view the ship on the horizon struggling as it may. But we know that in our lives we stand on the rock of being, of the rock of Logos, of the rock of the really real, of the rock of Jesus the Christ. You see, that's what's encoded in this little last psalm of the Pilgrim's Path. It is that you'll find yourself in the temple, and it's not like it's happy, sweet by and by. There may still be shadows. There may still be anxiety skulking around. You may still be standing the night watch and have stood the night watch. But in the words of the great St. George Harrison, the dawn is good at knowing when to come. I want to leave you this morning with a prayer from St. Augustine. Augustine is maybe one of the best known of the Christian early fathers. He was around about 1600 years ago, and I want you to hear these. This is 1600 years. You can't even conceive of 1600 years. The oldest thing you know might be 200 years old. We can't even conceive of it. Maybe 400 years old. If we go talk about the Pilgrims, we're talking about 4 times older than that. We can't even conceive of how old this prayer is. Really conceptualize it. The oldest of you out there is probably, is a tiny fraction of how long this prayer has been spoken into existence. And I want to see if it speaks to you this morning. So hear these words. This is from Augustine. And you can pray it with me if you like. God of our life, there are days when the burdens we carry chafe our shoulders and weigh us down. When the road seems dreary and endless, the skies graying and threatening, when our lives have no music in them, and our hearts are lonely, and our souls have lost their courage. Flood the path with light, we beseech thee. Turn our eyes to where the skies are full of promise. Tune our hearts to brave music. Give us the sense of comradeship with heroes and saints of every age. And so, quicken our spirits that we may be able to encourage the souls of all who journey with us on the road to life. To thy honor and glory we pray. Amen. All right, friends, that is my hope for you today. Tomorrow we will have an 11:11. Even though it is Thanksgiving, I will talk a bit about gratitude. I hope you'll be willing to share tomorrow. Maybe you'll share something that you are grateful for. Tonight we'll be gathering for our Thanksgiving service. That will be here at 282 Rock Street, or it'll also be on Facebook Live, so you can join us there. And we'll be gathering to give thanks and to honor this 400th anniversary of the Pilgrims in America. All right, friends, so glad you're with me today. I hope you are well in your pilgrim's journey, and that you might know the beautiful promise of lifting your hands in praise in the holy place, that God may bless you. Peace and grace, friends.